Before we get started, I want to teach you about dotted notes so we can make our chord rhythms more interesting. A dot added to a note increases the note duration by half of its value. Let's first listen to some eighth notes and then to some dotted eighth notes so we can hear the difference. Okay, so I have a piano instrument on my track here, so let's create a 1-bar MIDI clip by clicking and highlighting 1 bar and selecting Shift-Command-M on a Mac or Shift-Control-M on a PC. Now I'll right-click in the grid and select eighth notes. Next, I'll double-click to enter an eighth note on A, which is the root note of our scale. So if a dotted note is meant to add half of the note value, we need to know what half of an eighth note is. I'm going to place the cursor in the middle of our eighth note and hit Command E to split the note in half into 2 16th notes. Now we know what half of the note value is, and we can see it clearly. It's 1 16th note. So now if I add half the value of the eighth note, which is adding one more 16th note, we now have the total duration of a dotted eighth note, which is essentially the length of 3 16th notes. But currently, we have 3 separate 16th notes, so I'll extend the first note so it is the full duration of a dotted eighth note. Now I'll duplicate this note with Command D for the whole 1-bar clip. Now I'll select all the notes by highlighting them with the mouse and trim them to shorten the notes. Our dotted eighth note rhythm sounds nice, but at the end of the bar, it's got this kind of awkward feel to it. So let's change the last note to a regular eighth note so it plays on the 4 and, which is just 1 16th note to the left from where it currently is. Okay, so now let's create some chords from our bass note. We'll use the knowledge from what we learned in the previous lesson on building chords. We'll use the scale mode in Ableton to make it super easy too. To create the chord in scale mode, just highlight all the notes and use the option modifier to copy the notes up. So in scale mode, we're only seeing notes in the scale, so we need to just skip a note, essentially a scale degree, add a note, skip a note, add a note. So now we have our minor chord playing this rhythm. Let's duplicate the loop by hitting the Duplicate Loop button in the Main Clip Properties tab. Let's also extend our clip out to be 2 bars long. Now we have a 2-bar clip. Let's choose 2 other chords to make a chord progression. To do this, I'll select the chords at bar 2 and move them down to F. Now I'll move the last 2 chords down to G. So our chord progression is now playing A minor, F major, then G major. And if we were to talk about this in terms of Roman numerals like we learned previously, the progression would be notated 1, 6, 7. And that's pretty sweet. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create different voicings or ways of playing our chords to get a more EDM and dance music sound. After that video, we'll learn how to apply our knowledge of seventh chords to spice things up. And on top of that, I will introduce two new types of chords, the ninth chord and 11th chord. So just so you know, this lesson is part of a comprehensive music theory level 1 course. This is available on my website, sequence1.org. I hope you're as excited as I am, and I hope to see you in the course.